Hello, today I'm going to show you how to install the 52-inch Altissa Ceiling fan by Harbor Breeze. This ceiling fan is damp rated, which makes it perfect for covered outdoor settings like porches or patios, but looks great indoors as well. This is a dual mount ceiling fan, which means you can install it on a flat ceiling with included downrod or on an angled ceiling with an extended downrod, which is sold separately. A couple of notes before we begin. Please make sure that your power is turned off at the breaker box and at your wall switch. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, please contact a local licensed electrician to help you out. Another quick note, if you're replacing your light fixture with a ceiling fan, you want to make sure that your outlet box says acceptable for fan support. If it does not, you want to swap it out before you begin. As you can see, we've unpacked the box. We just want to make sure all our parts are accounted for before we get started. First of all, we have our mounting bracket. Comes pre-assembled with our canopy and our canopy cover. We'll show you how to remove those in the first steps. We also have our yoke cover. We have our downrod assembly. We have 5 blade arms. We have 5 blades, reversible blades, specialty gray and matte white. We have our fan motor assembly. We have our light kit pan. We have our light kit. Our light kit comes with 2 bulbs, LED bulbs. We have our glass. We have our light kit frame, this cage looking thing. We have our glass cap, which is, I believe, this guy. And we have our finial. It's pre-assembled to our light kit. And finally, we have our hardware pack. This consists of our wire connectors, our fan pull chain, our light pull chain, our blade screws, and our blade arm screws. Okay, a couple of tools we're going to need before we begin. We're going to need our Phillips head screwdriver, some black electrical tape, and we may or may not need wire cutters and wire strippers. And of course, our ladder. Alright, let's begin.
The mounting bracket is shipped inside the canopy. The canopy is held on with 4 screws. There are 2 standard screws and 2 slotted screws. To remove the mounting bracket, you'll first need to remove and save the 2 standard screws. And then loosen, but do not remove, the 2 screws in the J slots. Once those 2 screws are loosened, simply twist the mounting bracket to remove it from the canopy. To install the mounting bracket, begin by using a Phillips head screwdriver to remove and save the 2 outlet box screws. Next, feed the house supply wires through the center hole of the mounting bracket and align the slots of the mounting bracket with the screw hole posts of the outlet box. Insert the screws that were removed and saved, and use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten both screws of the mounting bracket to secure it to the outlet box. Make sure both screws are completely tightened. Before routing the wires, you'll need to loosen but not remove the 2 set screws on the motor collar. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen but not remove these 2 screws. Next, remove the rubber band holding the wires together and gently stretch the wires out. Then, locate the ball and downrod assembly and gently pull the green wire from inside the assembly. The downrod has the hanger pin and locking pin pre-assembled on it during shipment. Before proceeding, pull the locking pin from the hanger pin, remove the hanger pin from the downrod, and save both the hanger and locking pins. Next, place the canopy onto the downrod. Insert the downrod through the largest opening of the canopy, and then slide the yoke cover onto the end of the downrod. Then take the wires and feed them through the end of the downrod so that the wires exit through the ball portion of the assembly. Gently pull the wires through until the downrod meets the motor collar. Align the holes at the end of the downrod with the holes in the motor collar. Gently insert the downrod into the motor collar so that the holes align. Insert the hanger pin into one hole so that it goes through the downrod and it exits through the opposite side of the motor collar. Insert the locking pin into the end of the hanger pin until it clips into place. Once the pins are set, use the Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten the 2 set screws that were loosened. Once the 2 set screws are completely tightened, slide the yoke cover down until it meets the motor. If installing the fan with the included downrod, it's a good idea to cut and strip the wires before proceeding. To do that, measure a little over a foot from the top of the ball and downrod assembly and use a pair of wire cutters to cut the wires. Then strip about 3/4 of an inch of insulation from each wire. Once the wires are stripped, twist each end to make sure that there are no loose strands. Now the fan is ready to be hung. Before hanging the fan, it's important to note the slot on the ball and downrod assembly. That will align with the tab in the mounting bracket. When hanging the fan, you'll insert the ball into the mounting bracket and then rotate the fan until you feel that slot engage the tab in the mounting bracket. This prevents fan wobble. To hang the fan, lift the entire fan assembly up to the ceiling, note the location of the slot in the ball and downrod assembly and the tab in the mounting bracket, and then insert the ball into the mounting bracket, and then rotate the entire fan assembly until you feel that slot engage the tab and the fan assembly doesn't rotate any further. You'll feel the fan slightly drop when properly seated. Begin wiring the fan by taking the green wire from the ball and downrod assembly and the green wire from the mounting bracket and twisting those 2 wires together. Once those wires are twisted together, connect those wires with the bare copper house wire. This is the ground connection. Finish the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape to secure the connection. Next, take the white fan wire and connect that with the white house wire. This is the neutral connection. Twist those 2 wires together and secure the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Finish the wiring by taking the black and blue wires from the fan and twisting those 2 wires together. Once those are connected, twist those 2 wires together with the black or hot wire from the house supply lines. This is the power connection. Complete the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Once all wire connections have been made, gently tuck the wires around the mounting bracket to make room for the canopy to attach. To attach the canopy, align the screws in the mounting bracket with the J slots of the canopy. Lift the canopy up to the ceiling, aligning the slots with the screws, and then push the canopy up and twist to engage those screws and hold the canopy in place. Using the 2 screws that were removed in the first step, insert one of the screws into the standard hole of the canopy and use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten those 2 screws. Once those 2 screws are tightened, use that Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten the 2 screws in the J slots of the canopy. Before assembling the blades, choose which finish you want facing the floor. Make sure that the opposite finish is facing towards the ceiling. Then, align the 3 posts of the blade arm with the 3 holes in the blade. Insert one of the blade attachment screws so that it's threaded into the post of the blade arm. Repeat this process for the 2 remaining screws. Once all 3 screws are started, use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten those 3 screws. Repeat this process for the 4 remaining blades. The blade arms attach to the fan using 3 screw holes that will align with 3 holes in the base of the motor. Insert the blade arm through the opening in the side of the motor housing and align the 3 screw holes. Then use a blade arm attachment screw and start it into one of the holes. Do not fully tighten the screw at this point, as you'll need a little bit of play to align the other screws with the 2 other holes. Insert the second screw into the second hole and get that screw started. Do not completely tighten this screw yet. Then start the 3rd screw. You can completely tighten the 3rd screw and then go back and completely tighten the 2 other screws. Repeat this process for the 4 remaining blades. The light kit pan attaches to the fan using 2 keyhole slots and a standard screw hole. Those will align with the 3 screws at the black bracket at the base of the motor. Begin by removing and saving one of the 3 screws. Then loosen, but do not remove the 2 remaining screws. Remove the rubber band holding the wires together at the base of the motor, and then gently stretch those wires out. Feed those wires through the center hole of the light kit pan and align the keyhole slots with the 2 screws that were loosened in the black bracket of the motor. Push up and twist to engage those screws. Then use the screw that was removed and saved and insert that through the standard hole of the light kit pan and thread it into the screw hole of the black bracket. Once the screw is started, completely tighten that screw using a Phillips screwdriver and then completely tighten the 2 remaining screws. The light kit attaches to the light pan using 2 keyhole slots and 1 standard screw hole. Those will align with the 3 screws in the light kit pan. Begin by removing and saving one of the 3 screws in the light kit pan. Then loosen but do not remove the 2 remaining screws. Connect the light kit to the fan using the color-coded molded adapter plugs. Simply align the colors and insert the plug from the fan into the plug from the light kit until it snaps in place. Tuck the wires into the light kit and push the light kit up and twist to engage the keyhole slots with the screws that were loosened. Use the screw that was removed and saved and insert that into the standard screw hole of the light kit and tighten using a Phillips head screwdriver. After tightening that screw, completely tighten the 2 screws in the keyhole slots. Install the 2 LED bulbs by simply screwing them into each of the sockets. Before attaching the glass light housing, you'll first need to remove and save the finial and the hex nut from the threaded post at the bottom of the light kit. Next, place the glass over the light kit so that the pull chains come through the bottom hole and the top of the glass rests in the groove of the light kit pan. Feed the pull chains through the holes in the bowl cap. Make sure that the center pull chain goes through the center hole of the bowl cap and the off-center chain goes through the off-center hole in the bowl cap. Then feed the post from the light kit through the center hole of the bowl cap and hold it in place. Then use the hex nut that was removed and saved and feed the pull chain through the hex nut and finger tighten the hex nut onto the threaded post. Do not over tighten, as over tightening could cause the bowl to crack. Once the hex nut is tight, feed the center pull chain through the hole in the finial and then screw the finial onto the threaded post of the light kit. The light kit frame attaches to the light kit pan using a standard screw hole and 2 keyhole slots. Those will align with the 3 screws along the outer edge of the light kit pan. Begin by removing and saving one of the 3 screws. Then loosen but do not remove the 2 remaining screws. Next, align the keyhole slots of the light kit frame with the 2 screws that were loosened in the light kit pan. Then push up and twist to engage those screws. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten the 2 screws in the keyhole slots, and then use the screw that was removed and saved, and complete the installation by inserting that screw into the standard screw hole of the light kit pan and completely tightening that screw. The pull chains are labeled with a light bulb icon and a fan icon. Attach the pull chain with the light bulb icon to the center chain and the pull chain with the fan icon to the off-center chain. The fan and light are controlled by pull chains. Pull the center chain once to turn the light on and again to turn it off. Pull the fan pull chain once for high speed, twice for medium speed, and 3 times for low speed, and once more for off. The reverse switch is located on the light kit. The sun icon designates downward airflow, and the snowflake icon designates upward airflow. In the cooler months, an upward airflow pulls warm air from the ceiling and draws it down into the room. In the warmer months, a downward airflow creates a cooling effect. Make sure the fan is off before attempting to change the reverse switch position. The installation is complete. Time to enjoy your new ceiling fan. If you found this video helpful, please click on the like button down below or subscribe to the channel. That will help other people find the video as well. As we always say, hope you have a fantastic day.